Hi there, Patty in Brooklyn here. So I'm about to sew some stuff on this arm that is going to make it so we can't see inside it anymore. So I figured before I did that, I would actually show you how it all ended up. So here we have, we have our hand. The hand has, this is just my practice one, but it's got spray foam inside, and then inside this one, not this one, but we have a wire hand skeleton. So I just made like a basic hand shape out of wire. And then I had some parts of it that were sticking out. So I had some wires that came out of the hand, out of the spray foam here. So then that is what's going on here. I'm going to try to pull this back as far as I can. So we had the hand. The hand, you can sort of see the wires coming out here. That's the wires that were coming out of the hand. So I wanted something that could go on the top of my umbrella, that I could put the wire through coming out of the hand. I could attach it to this little cap. This happens to be a metal sink strainer. And then I wanted something that had holes in it that I could then attach to the umbrella. So that's what's happening. So we have our spray foam hand, and then we have the wire coming out of it. I don't know if you can see that. So the wire here is coming out of that. It's going through the strainer. Then the strainer is being attached to the umbrella in two ways. One way is with some really heavy duty thread. I've sewn through the strainer. And then the other way is that I'm using this large spring. It looks like this. So I have wrapped the large spring around the umbrella. And then here in the strainer, I've attached those two things together. So it's sort of like we have the spring coming up, going inside the strainer, the wires coming out of the hand, and then all that stuff I've just gone around a whole bunch of times. It looks a little crazy, but it's really quite connected there. So that's what's going on here. So this we can see is just a full umbrella. All of the canopy part is still on this umbrella, and the sleeve that goes over it is also on it. So I needed an umbrella that when you clicked it, it could go and then click back in. I found out that not all umbrellas can do that without the canopy opening. Only some will actually allow you to click it open while this is actually closed. Some of them, so we can click this, it's going to open up, and then we can grab it and pull it back in. So that's what's going to be happening. That's how the person is going to be using their arm to go in and out. So that's the mechanism. So I've kept pretty much the umbrella all intact. So the problem that I ran into is that this sleeve fabric will now come over here. And then it's going to cover the whole mechanism. So the problem I was running into was I wanted to have something that would keep the fabric a little bit away. So we have some thickness here because of the umbrella. And I wanted to have a similar thickness between where the umbrella ended and where the handle is. So here I wanted to have a little bit of thickness. So I had this spring. This at one point was just all one piece going all the way down. So I had the spring over, so I can just slide it on. Or I had it over here. Let's try to put it on quickly. So I had this on around the umbrella. And I ran into this problem. So when I was closing the umbrella, this wire was actually getting in the way of the mechanism. It's not doing it right now just because we don't have as much as would have been there. So it was getting in the way of the mechanism. So I took it off and I tried it with just fabric. And again, the fabric was getting in the way of this mechanism. So I have made a little piece here that I'm hoping will be the solution. So what this piece is, it's a piece that we're going to slide over here. And the reason we're going to do this is I want the fabric to be attached through these little holes I put in here. And then I will epoxy this here onto the handle. So what I'm hoping this will do is keep the fabric away from the mechanism, but still allow it to be opened. You can see it goes up about, I would say that's about 3/4 of an inch beyond the actual handle. And I'm hoping what that will do is keep the fabric towards the outside so that when we close it, it'll keep the fabric out of the way and allow it to to close. Right now I have this other thing in the way. Okay, so that's the idea. Now once I attach the fabric to here and then I attach here to the end of the handle, we're never going to be able to see inside this again. So that's why I wanted to video tape this. This actually happens to just be like a leg of a shelf. I was going to get some PVC pipe, but I just looked in the basement and I happen to have a couple legs for shelves, quite a few of them. So it was exactly what I needed diameter wise. So I just went ahead and turned that into the piece I needed. I just, dremeled out that, put some holes in it. So we're hoping that will work. So the fabric is now going to get attached here, and then the performer will be able to put his hand right here, and then the sleeve will continue over their hand and then get attached to the other sleeve. But we're going to obviously take out as much fabric as possible. So it's going to be like that. So that's what's going on in here. That's a lot to explain, but through some trial and error, I think it's going to work. This is the fourth umbrella that I tried, so this one is working consistently, and hopefully I can show you the end product at the very end. Okay, that's it. Thanks!